Hi, I'm Mike Rooney, back for part 2 on this series that I'm running on values and form, how to make a painting have form. How do you take a two-dimensional surface and make it look 3D? Like if I'm painting an orb or a ball, how do I make it look like a ball? If I'm painting a square, like a building, how do I make it look like a building? If I'm painting a tree, how do I make it look like a tree? In the first lesson, I described making this round cylinder, and I cut through it. I made a square out of it, okay? So I described the square with a light plane with the light hitting the top of it. I make that lighter than the light hitting this side. And of course, the light doesn't get to this side at all, so of course it's the darkest. So now this thing looks like a 3D block, okay? Now, how do you take this very thing and make it into a can or something that's cylindrical, okay? The same thing applies. What you have to do is you have to think about the light hitting the form, okay? I've been in art school since I was a kid, and I've heard, make it have form, make it have form, make it have form. And can you believe I'm 52, 53 years old? I really didn't know what they were talking about till I thought it through and thought that form is actually planes, okay? Not airplanes, but planes. And every time a plane changes direction, it picks up light from different sources. Now there's direct light and there's indirect light. This studio is lit all the way around me, just about almost 360 degrees, so everything's pretty well lit up. But what I want you to think of is if there was only a single light source on this cube or this square, it would hit the front side, let's say, and it would be shadow on the second side like I showed here. Now what would happen if I want to round this form off? Watch, this is cool. And it's so funny because I went out and I bought some clay, and I used to say in all my workshops, boy, just think of this if I had a block of clay. Well, now I have a block of clay, so you can actually see it. But I'm going to cut through a corner. I'm going to take a corner of this square, and I'm actually going to carve right through it. And I want you to see that plane. Now there's another plane. There's 1 plane, 2 plane, 3 plane, 4 plane, 5 plane, 6 planes. What happens if I take this corner and I shave off this corner? The same thing's going to happen. I take that and I cut it off. Now look how that's starting to take on a cylindrical shape. But it's still very planar. Is that a right word? Planar? It's full of planes. Now the more planes I make, the rounder this is going to get. Okay? So now I have 1 plane, 2 plane, 3 plane, 4 plane. Let's see. 1 plane, 2 plane, 3 plane, 4 plane, 5 planes, 6 planes, 7 planes. Now, all right, how do we describe that up here? All right, what we do is we take the paint and we just take these two and mix them together. Because this is this side. No, let's see. We got to do this one, and this one. So we take half of this one and half of that one, and we make a value that's in between, and we paint it right on that corner. Okay. So now you can see a difference. You see how that looks? There's light, and I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up. I'm sure it is. But let's lighten this side just a little bit, just so you can see that this side's just a little bit lighter. There we go, that's better. All right, now see that? What I did was I shaved, oh, okay, this would not go square across. It would go like this. Like so. It would cut straight across, and then that one would be real dark right there. Now, do you see how I just made 1 plane, 2 plane, 3 planes? So I took half of this paint and half of this paint, mixed them together right in the middle, and just painted one right in the middle to describe this one being cut off. And that's how it would look. Can you see it in the light? Do you see how when I turn this thing, do you see how the planes change? Because the light's lighting up different planes. So some planes are lit up. This one's always remaining lit up. But if the light is coming from one source, it's going to light up this one and not this one. This one's going to be the lightest, this is going to be the second lightest, and this one on this side is going to be the third lightest. So that's what you do here. Now, if I wanted to do it again, watch, this thing will be totally round now. If I shave off that little bit of corner right there, and right there, and right here, and I just take that corner off, look how I've made it round, because I've made each plane a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller. So now I've made it from a square, when it was totally square, to it's not so square, to it's all the way round. So we'll do the same thing here, and we'll call that quits on this particular thing on form. It shows you how to make form, how to think about form. Form is an object catching light if it's shaped like this, or if it's square, shaped like this. If it has hard corners, has it got soft corners, I can make it have real hard edge by slamming it down really hard. See, I can get a hard edge, so I can describe this shape and this shape, or I can round it a little bit by adding another facet, like a facet on a diamond. So let's do it up here, and then we will have a round can, in other words. So we'll take this and add a little bit of that to it, and we'll make this almost round. Because what I'm doing, I'm just mixing these two together really easy right there, and I'm making it round. Now watch, I can make it look round by changing that. You see how it looks round now? Because now instead of having 1, 2, 3, or 4 facets or planes, I've got 6, 8, 10. Who knows how many? And every time it gets a little bit lighter, a little bit darker as it goes around the form. This side always stayed light. Okay? Now watch, you can take some of this. If, let's say I want to show that the light's coming from this side, from the front. Watch what happens if I do this. I put a light streak right on the face that faces the light. So I'm telling everybody that the light's facing this way. And I blend it just a little bit to make more planes than just 2 or 3. And look how that looks like it kind of juts out at you. It kind of goes out towards you, doesn't it? And it also describes the light as coming from this angle. Now it's coming from the front a little bit more. So that's a pretty good way to describe the form. And if I want to make this appear round, I just round this off. And keep it square in the back. See how I kept it square in the back? So I'm telling you that it's square in the back, like so. In fact, I'll go ahead and mix up some. I'll go ahead and mix up some to show the back is square. Now, how are you going to do that, Mike? Because I'm going to leave it square at the back and then come straight down so that this looks square. And by doing that, I just told you that the back of this block is square and the front juts out towards the camera. And that's all painting is just describing these shapes, describing these forms. Do you see how that thing looks like it's square in the back, but it looks like it's round in the front? Like so. It comes out at you, and then the light's hitting on the front. All right? I hope you enjoyed this free art lesson on how to describe form and really to think of what it is. You have to think of what things are to be able to paint them. You need to know them. That's why you should sketch and do stuff like that. If you'd like to see more about me or see my workshop schedule, please go to MikeRooneyStudios.blogspot.com.